sure that they're available to certain people. Not everyone, because we don't want all these recordings just everywhere. It's important that you attend these meetings live if possible. If you can't, then we're going to communicate with you personally, because we want to make sure this is an elite group of people who actually do plug into the system. Now, Mario is someone that I've been hanging out with in the network marketing profession for many years and several different companies over the years. I first met him when he was working in corporate headquarters in a company based out of Utah, a company I was with for many, many years. And he and I have traveled in so many different countries. We were reminiscing just yesterday about some of the things that we've done and some of the places we've seen and some of the crazy things that we've experienced. And it's such a pleasure. This is a good trip for Mario and I. We actually arrived here in Korea yesterday evening, and Korea is such a beautiful country with a beautiful culture and such wonderful people that actually are focused on getting things done, getting things accomplished. And one of the very important factors of the success that we see in many of the countries is a natural discipline that takes place. And that discipline is something that does actually reflect on these subject matters of what we're trying to eradicate. And that is, we're trying to eradicate procrastination and rejection. And an eradication of rejection and procrastination is probably two of the main things that you need to learn how to accomplish if you're going to build a solid network marketing business. And Mario and I were talking just this morning about the organizational skills. I received a text with all the different bullet points and schedules of all the different meetings that I have here over the next few days. And that's important. We must give out leadership. We must allow people to lead. One of my favorite statements is, lead the leaders and then let the leaders lead. Did you hear that? Lead leaders and allow the leaders to lead. You can't micromanage an organization in network marketing. If you do, you're going to be doing all the work and you're going to reach a lid in what your accomplishments are going to be able to comprehend within your own ability. You're not going to get past that. One of the beauties of network marketing, it is a network. It's a network not just of people and of income and leveraging income. It's a network of talents, a network of people's natural ability plus their acquired ability. I've always said, and this is something I want you to write a note down right now. This is very important. Surround yourself with people who are different than you are. There may be some similarities. You may have similarities in personality, similarities in ethics, similarities in morals, similarities in a drive, and a similarity in actual energy that you're putting into your organization. But what about the differences? What about the differences in talents, expertise, maybe education, maybe the things that you cannot accomplish that well? I think it's funny. I'll ask people, so what are you good at? And they'll give me a list of all the things they're good at. I said, no. Don't tell me what you're interested in. Tell me what you're good at. Be honest about it. You see, some people are good at almost everything in their own mind. Have you ever met someone like that? I have. I've met many people that no matter what the subject is, they're good at it. Well, this is a real world. We're human beings, and not all of us are good at many things. We're good at some things. We're great at very, very few things. So if we truly look at the reality, we need to surround ourselves with diversity. Diversity meaning differences in skills, differences in talents, differences in expertise, so that when we surround ourselves with different people that are great at certain things, guess what that does? It makes us even greater at those things because we have people to rely on. It's important that you surround yourself with people who are good or even better than the areas where you are weak. So find your weaknesses. This is something I want you to write down. I want you, as we train in this sustained prosperity system, one of the very first things that I want you to accomplish is to understand yourself and understand what you're good at. I want you to write down 2 lists, what you feel that you're great at and what you don't feel you're so good at. I'm not that good at programming websites. I'm not that good at IT work. It takes so much effort for me. So not only am I going to put things in that list that I'm not good at, I'm going to put things in that list that I don't enjoy. Some things people enjoy more than others. I don't enjoy certain things that I'm actually good at, but I want other people to be in charge of that. So if I surround myself with people who are better at things than I am, I become encapsulated with an expertise in every area in life, in every area in business, and it causes our organization to be stronger than it was if I try to pull it all in together and try to be an expert at everything, because I cannot be. Find your talents, find what you're good at, and make sure you surround yourself with people who are better at things than you are. Now, there's those narcissistic leaders out there that want to be good at everything, and they don't want to give out any energy of leadership to anyone else. They want to be that leader. They don't want anyone else to lead. They don't want anyone else to be better than they are. This type of leader will never be the kind of leader that can lead internationally as they need to, or even domestically like they need to, because they're going to find themselves working so hard to be that Superman or Superwoman in every field that they possibly can. In fact, they feel insecure. The narcissistic leadership is going to feel insecure if they give away leadership in areas where they're weak. If they allow someone to be strong where they're weak, because they feel insecure. They feel as if that person is going to gain more power than them. If you are in this business and your goal is to gain power, your goal is to gain a leadership of narcissism, your goal is to drive your team to the top based off of glorifying you and building up who you are and causing yourself to be that superstar Hollywood type person, you will never be the kind of leader that you need to be in network marketing. The beauty of network marketing is that this is one of the professions, one of the very few professions that the more that you give attention to other people, the more that you pay attention to other people, the more that you help other people succeed and other people win, the more you will win. If your focus is on your success, if your focus is on your dollar bill, if your focus is on your expertise, you will lose. You must learn to project your energy toward the effectiveness of others. This is what network marketing is all about. Now, I wanted to start it out that way tonight for one reason. Actually, it's this morning here in Seoul, Korea. It's actually, we started the webinar at our noon. It's not morning. It's just barely afternoon here. We're going to do another webcast in Spanish right after this one from Korea. It's a beautiful sunny day, very cold here, and we have meetings tonight with some of our constituents in Korea. And we were talking about, why are they so effective? Why are they so successful? How can they move so generously and quickly and effectively? It's their organizational skills. It's their ability to stay focused. It's their ability to not be selfish and to focus on others. We are going to cancel out, if you will train yourself through this system of sustained prosperity system, if you will focus on eradicating the 2 main enemies of network marketing, which is rejection and procrastination. Now let's separate those 2 for just a moment. Rejection and procrastination. Rejection is an emotional battle. Procrastination is a mental battle. So you're going to have an emotional attack on your business, and you're going to have a mental attack on your business. Now let me explain. Let's start out with the mental attack, procrastination. Procrastination occurs because of lack of knowledge, lack of knowing what to do quickly and getting to it immediately. Now, we've made this comment and this statement several times, and I'm going to reiterate it. If you have a small organization of 100 people in your organization, and there's an average of 4 weeks procrastination within your organization per person. They get their package, they don't know what to do, they're waiting on the next event, they're waiting on the next training session. What do? They did not join the business to wait. They joined the business to go active. If you do not immediately go through a getting started training with them to help them understand what those first steps are, you're going to find that their energy towards success in your business that you brought them into is going to go down instead of up. You must immediately get them into a first steps, getting started training so that they immediately activate their activities. If you don't, there's going to be an average of 4 to 6 weeks of procrastination. If they have 4 weeks of procrastination and there's 100 people in your group, that's 400 weeks of procrastination. That's almost 8 years of procrastination. You cannot afford that. You must activate people mentally, give them knowledge, mentally give them everything that they understand to do the next move. Now, that lack of knowledge is going to cause people to immediately go into activating on their own if they're a good leader. So if you've signed up an organization of good leaders, maybe you have a few good leaders in that 100 people, you're going to find that many of those are going to say, well, I didn't have the instruction of what to do, but I think I know what to do. And they're going to activate on their own way. They're going to do their own thing. They're going to go off their own recognizance of activities that in their mind they feel is what they should do. Everyone that has an entrepreneurial attitude is going to be able to be that kind of person. However, it doesn't mean that they're going to do it the correct way. Because one of the main things in network marketing that causes us to be effective is duplication. And when you allow this type of activity to naturally occur so that people just naturally go toward what they feel is the right thing to do, most, if not all, of that activity is going to be very non-duplicable. It's not going to duplicate. It's going to be under that one person's personality traits and their characteristics, their charisma, and their ability, and it's going to cause them not to duplicate because a person cannot duplicate, but a system of actions can. So it's meaningful and it's very imperative that you give your organization a well-defined list of tools to use and where to use those tools, where to place those tools in the step-by-step format of understanding every move to make in the follow-up system. Now, if you don't, again, these really good people that you're bringing on board, the ones that you know are going to be your superstars, if you do not get them into the correct training immediately, they're going to do it their own way, they're going to fail, and they're going to blame you, or they're going to blame the company, or they're going to blame the products, or they're going to blame something, because they're not going to blame themselves, because they are doing what they think they should be doing because you're not giving them instruction. If you were to buy a bicycle and you had all these parts and it was not put together, it was all in different pieces, there was no instruction manual, it's almost guaranteed that you're going to have to take pieces back apart, find the pieces that were missing, and put the other pieces back into place. There's going to be procrastination time there as well of getting started because there's no manual to put it together. There's no instruction manual. And we all know how stressful emotionally that can be. If you want the first emotional trauma to be blamed on you and your organization of not giving your team instruction of how to get started correctly, and they're starting out with an emotional stress, they're starting out with a negative component called stress because no one's telling them what to do. There's no security. There's insecurity. There's nothing there that gives them an assurance that they're going to succeed. But if you can change that, you're going to take them from a place of insecurity, stress, worry, a concern of if they even join the right company or join the right team, to the place to where they're going to feel secure, they're going to feel confident, they're going to know exactly what to do, and they're not going to question it, and they're going to move forward. And everyone that they bring into the organization, they're going to take them into that same place because they know that whatever happened with them, they need to do it with someone else. How many times have you heard a leader start with a company and then tell their people when they join the company that they brought into the team, when they ask them what to do, they say, well, just go out and get people. Just go out and get people. Just go out and share the product. That is one of the most dangerous, relaxed, lazy things I have ever heard. Lazy, why? Because someone did not take the initiative to be organized and to put the steps in place that will cause you to be a long-term success within your organization. If you don't have organizational skills, it's going to turn into chaotic messes that you're going to be spending more time putting out fires and trying to maintain a rank, or trying to keep your money coming in, or trying to salvage what you used to have, instead of being able to sit back and watch the ability of your team accelerate, because everyone is on a systematic approach, doing the exact same thing over and over and over, and they're confident within their steps because they know for a fact that it works. Now, Mario and I were having dinner with one of our constituents here in Korea last night, and Mario enjoyed some food that he had never tasted before in his life, and he's looking at this food and he's thinking, oh my goodness, what is this and what is that? And obviously, when you travel all over the world, you experience different types of cuisine. And last night, Mario was doing just that. And while we were sitting there, one of our good friends, he's on the call here tonight, he's talking about the steps. He says, I was following the steps, and you told me between step 5 through 8, that's when people make that confirmation. He said, I was just using the steps, and I got to step number 8, and I signed this person up in my organization. And the beauty of that is, by the time these people reach those steps of 5 through 8, they've already gone through the steps of 1 through 4 of where it builds trust in you, trust in your product, trust in your company. So by the time that they make commitment, this is one of the things that came out of my friend's mouth. He made this comment. He said, they're so loyal and in love with the product. They're so in love with the company. They're in love with the future. They're in love with what's about to happen. If you drive a person into a yes, like a hardcore salesperson, you're not going to get that loyalty, that love for the product, that love for the company, that love for the opportunity. You're only going to get that person giving in to your pressure. So the system of what we are teaching works. And you're going to find that 80% of the people who join a company, they join between the 5th and the 8th step, but yet only 3 to 10% of your organization is only going to get to that 5th through the 8th step unless you teach the edge. You must teach the edge. Teach on how to increase your percentages of each step. Now, it's such a pleasure to be able to announce, we did this last week. We announced several of the people that's going to be our guest superstars on our webcast and our training program. And these are my peers. These are people that I have been able to either been on the stage with, we've trained together, or we've been friends, and we've have had connections for years working in this profession called network marketing. We have a great deal of respect for each other. Troy Dooley is going to be our special guest next week as he shares from his expertise. He keeps up with the industry, keeps up with everything that's going on in almost every company. Some of the things that work, some of the things that are not working, some of the problems that are happening out there in the industry. And he actually helps the industry in educating them to make sure that when mistakes happen, that we learn so we don't make those same mistakes again, so that we can learn from other people's mistakes. And also, he has a great ability to edify and to lift up situations when they are happening correctly. He's been training throughout the industry in many different companies, and it's such a pleasure to have him as our guest next Thursday night on the 28th. And I hope that you bring people to the call next week for that. The very next week, I'm not going to announce all the different schedule here. I want you to guess what this schedule is. But all the people that we listed on the picture that we posted on Facebook and posted on our website on Global Prosperity Marketing, they're already scheduled, and many others are scheduled as well. And it's the superstars of network marketing, period, in our industry. These are the people who actually are the top of their companies within our industry, or top in the list of what we call trainers in our industry. February the 4th, the first Thursday night in February, we are blessed to have Jordan Adler. This is a gentleman that makes almost $2 million per year residual income in his company, and he is going to offer so much. He has a book called basically this book that he has. It's Beach Money. And I like that because it's about this attitude of building it correctly, building it once, building it big, getting paid forever, enjoying your life, kicking back, putting your heels in the sand, but still at the same time working from wherever you're at on vacation. One of the beautiful things that I've been able to see in network marketing is once you reach a certain point where you can travel the world, travel different locations, you're going to find yourself bringing people into your organization from all over the world. I was on a flight yesterday from Seattle, Washington to Seoul, Korea at Incheon Airport here. And I already have several addresses, several phone numbers, several connections just from that flight, because people want to know what you do, and you talk to them about what you do. You listen to what they do, you make connections, and you follow up. I already have people from the flight attendants that actually are interested in the product. A couple of flight attendants, one of them been in the business of being a flight attendant for Delta for 30 years. The other flight attendant's been a flight attendant with Delta, guess what, for 42 years. And they said, we're tired of this. We don't want to do this all our life. And your products, we see your products. We're excited about them. Can you send us samples? I went through the steps. I went through probably 3 steps with some of these people on this airplane within that 10-hour flight. Now, these steps don't have to take 1 step per day with people. Sometimes you can go through 2 or 3 steps in a day. You can build that trust. The better you get at it, the quicker you can go through these steps. Now, I'm going to give you some powerful advice today as we go through some of this information. I'm going to take you to what I do. When I'm giving information to people about how to be successful, write this down. When you have someone join your business, I want you to plug them into training within the first 24 to 48 hours. If you wait until they get their product, or if you wait until that shipment comes into their home, they bought the big package and then they get the shipment, say a week later, 3 days later, 4 days later, and you have not followed up, and the only thing that you've done is, well, just wait till your products come in and we'll talk about it. Once their products come in, you're too late. You have waited too late, and you have already cultivated a culture of procrastination within your organization. You can't afford to do this. If you wait for a week, you have a week of procrastination. You have another week that you're waiting to get them trained. You have another week for them to get excited again, if they ever do, and another week before they ever start truly doing things correctly. You cannot afford procrastination. Now, I've been hitting on the procrastination, which is the mental battle. It's the mental battle. But let's look at rejection, which is the emotional battle. If you do the procrastination mistakes, you're going to force your team into the rejection mistakes. How is that? Why is them being rejected your fault if you're not doing things correctly? If you do not train your people immediately, they're going to immediately go after everyone they know before they know what to do. And they're going to burn up their list of connections that are closest to them before you have instructed them the correct way. If they burn up that hottest part of their connections before you have had the opportunity to train them correctly on how to reach out to these people, they have lost the best portion of their list to follow up with. And if they go after these people the wrong way, they're going to feel rejection, they're going to feel that emotional attack, and they're not going to feel like what they're doing or the company that they have joined is the correct decision any longer. They're going to feel as though they have failed already. So the immediate actions on your part to get your team, individuals, as they join the company, immediately what I do is I get them in what I call a getting started training. I go through this with them on exactly what to do. I tell them, don't talk to anyone until we have gone through this. It says right here in this Getting Started manual, and if any of those of you that's on this call, if you haven't received the Getting Started manual, if you'll just email me or send me a note, I'll make sure that you have this Getting Started manual. And this Getting Started manual is something that it takes everyone from being insecure to secure. They feel like they're starting their business correctly. But now, even though you have these tools, even though you have this information, you're going to have those strong-willed individuals that you're going to bring into your organization that don't want to listen. I have those too. What do I do about that? How do you manage that? Now, this is good advice. I literally do not give in to that. It doesn't matter how close they are to me. If it's a strong-minded, strong-willed, strong person, strong entrepreneurial attitude, those are the kind of people that you want, but those are also the kind of people that do not necessarily like to listen to instruction. So the first thing I do is tell them what I need them to do. Now, don't do this. Do not get started until I have had a chance to go over the Getting Started training with you. And well, no, I know what I feel like I need to do. I've got this idea. I said, I don't want you to do that. I literally will say that. I don't want you to do that. And I have the confidence to be able to tell them that because I understand what works. You need to be able to have the confidence to tell them the exact same thing. So if you have that strong person in your organization, be clear with them. Come straight forth with them. Don't go in the wrong direction. It's important that you go in the right direction. I don't know how many people that have had that kind of strong attitude because I draw those types of people around me. That's the kind of person that I attract. So one of the first things I do is I say, listen, if you do it your way, you're going to do it the wrong way because we have something that works. It's a proven method. And I'll use this example with them. If me and you were to go down the highway here and we were to buy a piece of land and we want to open up our bank, a new community bank in this town. Now, the banking industry has been around for a long time. There's common denominators that make the banking industry work. You're going to have a teller counter when you walk in the door. You're going to have loan officers. You're going to have people who take care of commercial accounts, and people who take care of personal accounts, and people who they're trained on how to set up your debit cards and your credit cards and how to manage your different types of accounting. There's a drive-through for people who want to just drive through conveniently and make things efficient. There's an ATM machine. There's common denominators in the banking industry that have evolved over the years that have perfected the banking industry. We all know this. Even the online banking is very similar with each bank. It is common denominators that work. The biggest problem that people have in network marketing is they have their own ideas they want to throw in to their business of network marketing that are not proven common denominators. They want to take what they've learned in corporate world. They want to take what they've learned in their own world, and they want to place it in a world that they have never walked into before. And they're going to hope that their confidence in what they already know will work. Now, it may work for them, but it won't work to duplicate for the people they're bringing on board with them. Did you hear that? Duplication. Duplication, remember the definition of duplication: to lead a large group of people to do a few simple actions over a sustained period of time. That's what duplication is all about. If I were to open up a bank with you down the highway, I'm going to have a teller counter. I'm going to have a ATM. I'm going to have a drive-through. I'm going to have loan officers, and I'm going to have people to work with the customers that make sure that the people are opening up their commercial accounts, their personal accounts, their debit card system. Everything is going to be common denominators, because I don't want to experiment in an area where people need to feel secure. And in the banking industry, that's the case. In network marketing, it is the same case. When people join your business, they're spending money to join your company. They're opening up their own business. It's like a ribbon cutting for them. When I do a getting started business training for them, sometimes I'll call it, okay, we got to have a ribbon cutting. They say, what do you mean? It's time to get started. And we need to go over your startup training. I want you to know exactly what to do. I don't want you to experiment on your success. I'm going to use those terms. Don't experiment on your own success. Don't experiment on the people that you're bringing into your organization either. They deserve quality, and they deserve common denominators that work on a consistent basis. So our training must immediately take in the 60, 70 years of history of our profession of network marketing. We must engraft that into a funnel, narrowing it in to something that is simple enough for them to understand, so that they do not make mistakes by experimenting on their own success or anyone else's. It must be immediate training so that they can work their way straight in to immediate success. Now, the winning approach. There's no way that you can have a winning approach without confidence. I was on the phone with someone just the other day, and I'm slowing down for just a moment on this call because I want to make this point very clearly. Your confidence and your assurance in what you are doing, and the people in your organization, their confidence and their security in what they're doing, their knowledge, the more they know, the better they feel and the more comfortable they are in what they do. If you are sweating bullets and you're approaching me with stress, and you're all stressed out because you're trying to get rank, and you're trying to get to that place, or you're trying to fix the problems in your organization, and you're worried and you're concerned, and I can read you because you're so transparent, and you're trying to recruit me, why would I join you when you're telling me, oh, don't you want to do what I do? Don't you want what I have? Don't you want the life that I have? You see, what you're truly selling in network marketing is a lifestyle of freedom, a lifestyle of success, a lifestyle of being able to be on top of the world by being your own entrepreneur, owner of your own business, and to have control of your own life, have the key to your own life. Most people do not own their own life. Someone else does. They're creating someone else's success. They're creating someone else's wealth. So when you're approaching someone in network marketing to join you in your business, if you're coming to them with stress and you're coming to them with anguish, you're worried. Well, this happened in the company, or that happened in the company, and this didn't happen, and my volume went down last month, or my rank, I didn't reach my rank last month, and I'm trying to get my rank back up, and you're going into that salesperson pressure approach instead of following a system. What's going to happen is you're going to see more rejection than ever, even as a big leader. You're going to have more people saying no because they don't want what you have if you're stressed out. They don't want to be you if you're stressed out. They don't want to have what you've got if you're in threat of losing it. If you follow a system that works and you're consistently focused on the actions, not the end result, but the actions, you're going to find that the success naturally happens and it duplicates. Now we have the system built around the simple concept of action creates traction. Traction creates rank advancement, and rank advancement creates prosperous positioning. Prosperity. That's what we all want. That's what our team wants. But it'll never happen unless they have the correct actions. Everything we've been talking about over the last few weeks is about action, traction, rank advancement, prosperous positioning. Now I'm going to share my screen with you for just a moment because I want to go over something with you. This is very important as we cap out toward the end of the call, and then I'm going to go back to a live screen, and Mario and I are going to interject back and forth with each other toward the end of this call. So again, thank you. Thank you for being part of this training, this webcast, and it's such a pleasure to be able to teach you from Seoul, Korea, from the hotel room here. And I know it's late where you're at, but it's still earlier in the day here, the next day in your life. We're actually Friday where we're at, and you're in Thursday. So I'm going to share my screen, and I want to show you just a few details that are very, very important, okay? Now, for some of you, we have been focusing extremely on this visual that I have in front of you right now. This is what we call the client follow-up success sheet. You can call it anything you want to call it, but it's very important that you have something like this or something that looks like this. The reason you have this is so you can keep up with the different steps of follow-up that you're carrying your team into. Now, we've been reiterating this. Some things we've been giving you as bullets of new information each week, but some of these things we're giving it to you over and over so that you understand the importance as we go through this. Steps 1 through 4 are probably one of the most important step systems that you can go through. Now, every company has its own tools. Every company has the different things that they use to build their team and to give their distributor force or their representatives or their brand partners, whatever your company calls it, they have tools that are designed to help you build your business. And some companies even have a system, a similar system in place to where they teach you to do certain activities. Those are the different steps that you need to plug in to the Sustained Prosperity System. The Sustained Prosperity System is basically, it teaches you efficiencies in follow-up and organization skills and understanding the psychological flow of making sure that the people, by the time that they reach a commitment stage, that they love your company, they love your product, they love you, they love your leadership, and they appreciate the fact that you're doing something that they can do as well, that's simple for anyone that joins your team. They do not have to be a superstar when they join your team, but the system will help them become one. Now, you're going to list each step. You're going to make notes. You're going to make sure you know what tool is used. You're going to date it. You're going to be able to look back on that. And you're also going to file it within your file system under step 1 as soon as you break that ice. Now, during your meetings that day, you may go on to step number 2 that same day, or you may go to step 3. It depends on how close you are to that person and how comfortable it is between you and that person with time, how much time you have, and how open they are to communicate. Do not pressure that person. I find that some people do not know when to be quiet. Some people do not know when to go home. Some people do not know when to shut down a meeting because they feel like I have more to share with someone than I already have, and I need to go ahead and take them to that next step now. Be careful not to give them too much. Spread out the steps, please. Make sure you spread out these steps. So as you spread out these steps, I want you to determine a maybe. I don't want you to go after a yes. If you're going after a yes, you're going too strong and you're going to lose. You're building trust in the first 4 steps. You're building commitment in the steps 5 through 8, and that is the sweet spot. Anyone who's played golf, you know what a sweet spot is. That's the sweet spot on the golf club, that if you hit the golf ball with that certain spot at the tip of that golf club, that golf ball is going to spin correctly, it's going to go a long distance, and you're going to be more accurate than if you didn't hit it the correct way. If you don't hit it the correct way, it's going to go to the right, the left, or it's going to not go very far at all. It's going to go in the wrong direction, or it's not going to get any length. Now, commitment must be done correctly, okay? If people's commitment is based off of the wrong reasons, you truly don't have the correct commitments. Commitment must be built on the fact that you have established trust in the products, in the company, your leadership, your teamwork, your availability, your relationship with them. You must build commitment in that way. When someone joins me in my organization, I do not look at them as a customer. I do not look at them as someone in my downline. I look at them as a partner. And I tell them, listen, you're going to make money, and as you make money, you're going to make me money. And I want you to understand that I have incentive for you to be successful, because if you're not successful, it does not help me become more successful. I'm going to consistently explain to them openly that I want them to understand I am there to help them because it helps me. They need to understand this, because that way they will not be uncomfortable with coming to me with questions, and they will also understand I am there to help them. They're not on their own. If a person feels that they're joining you and that they're going to be on their own, it's because you have not said the correct statements during the follow-up. And then steps 9 through 15, that is the steps of confirmation. Now, we're not going to spend a lot of time on these slides. We're going to go back and forth to this so that you understand more and more throughout 2016. This is going to be your greatest year ever if you implement these steps. If you follow up correctly, you are going to find yourself a funnel of people that you're following up with that you will not have any concerns at all building your volume, building your team, building commitments, and having a large organization. That is a fact. Now, I'm going to take you back to live here. I want to stop sharing the screen. As I stop sharing the screen, I want you to hear this. Listen to this. This is how this works. If you will put 2 to 3 new people, let's say 2 people, in your system daily, in your follow-up on a daily basis. If you have 2 people, just 2, that you fill out a sheet for, you're going to have John Doe, and then you're going to have Susie Q. 2 new people today. Your goal should be to start with 2 new prospects every day. 2 new people that you have added into your file system and placed into step number 1. If you do, and you're following up, you may actually have the ability of moving them to step number 2, or maybe one of those people to step number 2. But anyway, you have 2 people now in your file system. When I was on the flight to Seoul, Korea, my file system was laying right there next to me in business class on the desk area in the plane as I'm flying here on this trip. It's with me everywhere I go. Step number 1, step number 2, all the way through step number 15 is in this file system. Now, why is this important? This is how it works. If you start out with 2 people and every day you add 2 people, by the end of the 5th day, you have now 10 people in your file system. Some of those have made it to step 5 through 8 by the end of the first week. At least by the next week, step 5 through 8, you're going to have people in the next week in steps 5 through 8 if you're following up, because you are adding people every day and you're following up with people every day. If everyone in your organization is doing this, you can easily ask the people in your organization, let me see your file folder. I want to look through it to help you with your follow-up. And you work as a team, you're going to be able to see who the successful ones are, because they're going to have a lot of people in every file from 1 through 15. They're not going to have just a few in 1, 2, and 3. They're going to have people moved on up into the follow-up system. Now, 5, 10 people every week. You have 2 people a day for 5 days a week. That's 10 people. You add 10 more people the next week. 10 more people the next week. In the first month, you have now 40 people in your file system. 40 people you have followed up with. 40 people you have filled out a sheet and dropped into the files. 40 people. Some of those are in step 1. Some of them are in step 11. Some are in step 15. Some of them have already now left the file system, and now they are engaged as a new brand partner or representative or distributor in your company, and now you're training them to do the same thing. As you have followed up, you can pretty much guarantee that most people are never going to have more than anywhere from 25 to 45 people in their file system, because they're going to move them through the file system. So by the time that you get to the 4th week, if you average 3 people for every 10 coming in as a customer or a brand partner into your business, and if you have 40 people that you're following up with per month, new, you're going to have 12 new people sign up in your business as a customer or a brand partner in your business every month by you. And the people who are coming in as your new brand partners, they're going to have the same thing. So the duplication starts taking place. So if you have 12 new ones this month, and those 12 new ones get 12 each, that's another 144. And the 144 get 12 new ones, and so on and so on. You're going to see your organization grow just based off of constant follow-up and understanding the numbers and percentages. The key is this: 20% max, even if there's a good system, usually makes it to the 2nd step of follow-up, because they just don't push forward. The key here is increasing the percentages of follow-up per step. Increasing how many people go to the next step in your organization of follow-up. It's not increasing their ability to be a hard-pressured salesperson, sweating bullets, that's stressed out, that doesn't know if they're going to reach rank or not. That does not accomplish the goal. If you're going to accomplish the goal, your attention in your organization must be around a system that aims people toward the actions that get traction, that takes them to rank advancement, that takes them to prosperous positioning. It cannot be focused on the prosperous positioning. It must be focused on the actions. Your actions are follow-up. Your actions are step 1. Your actions are step 2, step 3, step 4, taking them into step 5, where the average of people in an organization, once they get to step 5, is maybe 8%. If you could increase that to 40 or 45% of your organization following up with their people getting to step 5, you have changed the dynamics of your success, and you're doing the work and the actions of the standard top earner in our industry that makes $1 million per year. These are the secrets that's going to take you to the top. And if you don't listen, you're going to stay at the bottom and you're going to constantly wish you had those bigger checks. Move fast, but move efficiently. Move swiftly, but move organizationally. Do not do things outside what you should be doing. Don't figure it out. Follow the system. No, when you're building your team, we have 15 steps of follow-up. If you're building your organization and you have different tools within your company, have you defined the tools that your team is using? Or do you constantly hear the question, what tools do you use first? What video do you send people? Which one do you send people? What email do you send? What would you do if you were me with this person? If you have constant communication like this from your organization, that means that you have not well defined the steps that your team is using. And therefore, everyone is asking these questions continuously throughout your organization. Maybe your company has dozens of videos for you to use. But if your team has to ask you which is step 1, 2, or 3, maybe you have other ways that you present your company, that your company has provided for you. But if you have to constantly answer questions that people are asking, what do I do next? It's because you have not trained them and have not well defined what those steps are in your organization. You must define the steps so that everyone doesn't have to think it out. One person thinks it out, or a group of people in your organization. Create a distributor representative team, some kind of a board among your organization. Pull in those people who care about your team if you've got an existing team. Pull in your superstars. Develop a distributor support team, some type of a support organization or a representative team. And all of you join together and decide what are these steps. If your company has not already defined the steps, your little organization of leadership that represents your bigger organization, you need to come together and you need to define these steps. Make sure the first 4 steps are centered around building trust, establishing trust, not the sale, but building a relationship. This is a relationship marketing business. The next 4 steps will then become easy because belief has been established, and now commitment can be established in steps 5 through 8. Steps 9 through 15 now will take you to the top because you're going to confirm those commitments. You're going to bring people into your organization. And now you can start the cycle all over with the getting started and the first steps training again. Now, Mario, we're going to close the call off here with just a couple of questions and comments back and forth between you and I. I'm so excited about the future of network marketing and where we're going with training all over the world and the excitement that I'm hearing from people. The beauty of this is that we're surrounded by quality. There's nothing that I appreciate more than to be surrounded by the quality of people that I'm surrounded with. And I think that comes from the fact that the people that I'm circled around, people that are around me, like you, Mario, and like some of the other leaders that we have that I appreciate so much. It's the fact that the standards of life are important to them, and they're always wanting to do better for the people that are in their organizations. Their focus is caring about others. And Mario, give us, at the end of this call, I want you to take over. I want you to give us, what do you feel as far as the future of network marketing, as far as the future of what we're doing here, trying to help out so many people and help them get to the place they need to be in their lives? What do you see this doing? Because we have people from a lot of different companies. Sure. What do you see this doing to their life as we help them understand? And you know more about what we're going to be training on than what we've already revealed yet. So kind of give everybody a little bit of an insight of what our objective is from your heart.
Well, from my heart, first of all, I am very familiar with many different companies as being a corporate executive for about 20 years, working with many different companies. And Jef, you and I met about 15 years ago when I was working with top distributors and brand partners from that specific company. And We made that connection. What I really liked about you was you kept things simple and duplicable. And now that I'm working the business, you know, that is super, super important. I see how you work with your people. I see how you train your people. And now what was interesting was with each company I was with, some companies did not have a system at all, which made things very difficult, right? And then other companies did have a partial system. But what I love is what you have put together. Because now I'm building a group, and it doesn't matter what company you're with, right? But now I'm building a group, and I see how things have entirely simplified. And there's two words that I've always loved in network marketing, and that is keeping things simple and duplicable. And as I see, you know, this happening with my organization, as I see my leaders, you know, run with this system and have their portfolios, and they're taking pictures, and you see step 1, step 2, step 3, and they're also passing that along and duplicating themselves and sharing it with their people that are starting. I am, one word, excited, right? I like keeping things simple, and I see that they're growing. I see a new energy as well. And that's something, as their leader, is super exciting to me, to see that new energy, you know, see them focused on a system, because they can see that, yeah, it's simple and duplicatable. So that's really what I wanted to share with you. You know, it's true, on the plane yesterday, that long flight from Seattle, I went up to visit Jef, and yeah, I saw, you know, his folder there, and the step 1, step 2, step 3, and I think that's super, super important. You know, he preaches, well, he walks the talk, right? Talks the walk, and he makes it happen. So I appreciate your example. You know, it's super exciting what we have. It's super exciting to be able to send leaders from any company to a training series that you're doing. And this is just the beginning. You know, we have the new superstars coming, as you mentioned, and I mentioned at the very beginning. We have Troy Dooley coming next Thursday. That's super exciting. And, you know, I looked at the list, and every Thursday we have a new superstar joining us. And this is quality training, you know, that's going to be available for anyone. So I don't know if you wanted to share anything else before I officially close, but was there anything else, Jef?
I just thought it was interesting that on our flight yesterday here to Korea, one of the things that Mario notices, the flight between the U.S. and Asia, between U.S. and Seoul, Korea yesterday, it wouldn't matter if we were flying directly to Narita Airport in Japan, or if we were flying to another airport here in Asia. It's inevitable. If I get on a flight to Asia, I run into so many of my peers on these flights from other companies. And the flight just yesterday, there was at least a half a dozen that was grouped around us in customs, and some throughout the flight. Some people that I have honored and respected for many years, and we've had such a great time talking among ourselves. You see, the knowledge that we've received, that we're sharing with you, it's not just knowledge that we've gained because we've done it. It's because we've done it, plus we are around people who have done it. We gain because we're constantly talking about the business. When we're sharing with these people that we meet up all over the world, and these people that we meet around the world, obviously they're very successful, or they would not be traveling all over the world building their business. The beauty of that is I've had the opportunity to be able to share with them my experiences, and they've been able to share their experiences. And we've been able to talk and collaborate for years, all the different things that have gone right, wrong, analyze the different things that have been done incorrectly, and how could we do it differently. So this knowledge doesn't come without a price. Someone paid the price for all of us to learn. And I paid the price. Many others have paid the price. You don't have to. You're getting this information and this training for free, and it's going to get more extensive over these next few weeks. We've been focusing on the foundations. Now we're going to take it to the next level. Such an honor to have Mario as my partner and friend, and thank you all for being on the call tonight. It's been a call now that's lasted 1 hour, and we appreciate it. And God bless, and we'll take this to the next level. Those that didn't get to hear it live, we're going to have a recording posted soon to those of you that are on the call. We'll send you a link to the email where you're registered. Now, if people aren't registered, they do not know about this call. They don't get into it. So you must register or ask your friends to register as well. And thank you, Mario, so much, and those of you that are on the call.
Thanks, Jeff.